Hello everyone, welcome to our new video on using Access. We are going to do the CAT paper 1 trial paper for 2021. I will leave the paper in the description area below for those who will be watching on YouTube. For my students, you have a copy of the paper. Just as a disclaimer, I'm at Scouts, and if you hear some noise, some children screaming, please do pardon me. I have kids outside who are playing. All right, so we are going to be using this paper here. Here is the paper, the grade 12 trial paper for 2021. Okay, so without wasting too much time, let's go down to solving the challenges. All right, so we have a database. We have a database that we are given, and we are going to use that to answer the questions. For those of you who are conversant in Xhosa, and if you want to use the video or you want to watch the video in Xhosa, you can just go and search for my channel, Afigile Sikwebo, on YouTube. I have this video in isiXhosa. All right, so let's get down to some work. All right, so first things first, we are told we are going to use 4.1 table, the table personal information. I've got it open. Add a validation rule to the date of birth field to prevent the user from entering a date later than the current date. So we want to make sure that when the user, we are going to use design view, when the user enters the date of birth, their date of birth, that they can't be born on a future date. They must always be born on a date that is either today or before today. So what we'll do is that we will go to date of birth and we go to general, and I've done this before, so we'll say it must be less than or equal to now, which is now is the function for today's date. So it must be either less than or it must be equal to today's date. If I only put today's date, if I put now will return today's date, or equals now will return today's date, and then this one says less than today's date. All right, one thing that you must please watch out here is that don't forget to make sure that you are on the date of birth field, and you're not working on the name field. So I've had to cancel a video where I just could not find, it was giving me an error, and all along I did all of this on the name field. As you can see, I was doing it here, and where I was supposed to do it on the date of birth. Okay, so we've done the validation rule, and I've written the wrong date. So if we now go to data sheet view and I enter a date that is like upcoming, if I go to the next one, it will say wrong date. Make sure that I enter a date that is before today. Then I enter a date that is before today, and it will allow me to go there. All right, so the next thing that we have to do is to enter an input mask for our course code. So it says each course is designed with a code. Add an input mask to the course code field to accept only a code in the following format. It must have 3 optional digits. It must be followed by a hyphen. It must be followed by 3 compulsory uppercase letters. So here are some of the options: 2 2s, 1, 3, 3 numbers. So it's two numbers, a hyphen, and then the uppercase keys. 1 number, hyphen, uppercase keys. 3 numbers, hyphen, uppercase keys. Okay, so what we'll do is that in input mask, we are going to say greater than. We want 3 optional numbers. So 3 optional numbers. We want a hyphen, and then we want 3 compulsory digits. Okay, so once we move out of this, you will see that it will add a a backslash on before the hyphen. So please just don't try and remove that backslash. It is always just going to keep popping up, and it might just frustrate you if you remove it. Okay, so if you remove it and you move away from there, it will just put it back again. So it's not an error, so please leave that backslash there. Okay, so now if we go to .view, we can enter, let's see if we can leave that open, and then we put UJK. You see, it will allow that. Let's put one number. It doesn't allow a letter, so one number, LOL, and let's say number 6. And you will see when we enter when we enter the letters, I will put my caps lock on. There's D. I'll put my caps lock off. It will still write in uppercase letters. Okay, so that's the nice thing about that. Okay, so then it says 4.1.3, insert a combo box for the course field so that the list of courses can be selected. The courses are stored in the table course information. Okay, so now courses are listed in the table course information. So what we do, we come to design view once again, and we go to course, and we go to general, we look for the properties, and you will see that you have lookup, and in lookup you will see it will, by default, it will be on text box. All right, it will be on text box, so you are going to select combo box so that it will go onto combo box. And if you click on table or query, we are going to leave it a table or query. And row source, the row source, we want to select the source of the information that is going to be on the drop down menu. All right, so we can go course information, but what we can do is to go and click there, and they said course information. We say add, and we'll say okay, and then if we come and say field, we want the courses. Okay, so it must give us the courses from the course information. If we look at the course information table, we are going to look at it now. If we click on, then we click on run. Okay, so let's do this. We've selected the courses, the field courses. We want this field in the course information, and it's from the table course information. Then you click run. It will then bring you this table. If you look at the course information, okay, let me close it. If you now look at the course information table, there's ID courses, number of, I don't know what's number of what. Okay, so now it's going to then row source, it's going to do this SQL statement for you, which I'm not going to read. And if you come now and show the data sheet view, the course information will now be in a drop down. Okay, your course information will now be in a drop down. And if we can do it quickly again, you just make sure, let's put it on this text box. So you make sure that you select a combo box. You make sure that you leave it a table or query. The row source, the source where the data is going to come from. You click on these 3 dots, and you will select the table that you want to use. We were told it's the course information, and you are going to add it. All right, then you close this box. Then you click on the field. The field is the courses. We want the courses, okay? And it is this course information table. Then you can run it. It runs this query for you, all right? Then then you can close it, okay? Then it will, do you want to save the changes? Yes. It then will save it, and you are good to go. Then it says calculate, open the form attendee, add a function to the Details tab to calculate the age of the attendee in years, format the function to display the age as a whole number, and display a suitable label for the calculated age. Okay, so we are going to attendee information. We have gender, we have date of birth. So what we want to do, we want to add to this form. So we are going to say design view, because we want to add to the form. So we'll say design view, we want to design the form, and date of birth is right here. So we are going to add a new text box. Okay, so let's add this text box, and we are going to write here age, and let's move it. So let's move it there. Here where it says unbound, what we are going to do is to we are now going to add a function, okay? It says it must display the years of this guy. So we are going to say equals, what we want to do is to say we want to take today's date. Okay, so equals today's date, which we do it this way. If we do this, it will, let's see how it shows. If we just leave it at today's date, it shows us today's date, all right? But now we don't want to just leave it there. We want to say today's date. We want to say minus. Now you can see that we already have a field on the table, on our table, called date of birth. So we are going to minus the field date of birth, whatever is recorded, I think, on the personal information. So whatever is recorded on the personal information table, which is called date of birth. So we do it this way because we are deducting a field that exists as an existing field. We are going to say with square bracket date of birth. Make sure that it's not one word. Date of birth as it appears as the table. Sorry, as it appears here. All right. So this is the field date of birth. And so we are going to put it in a square bracket because we want it to recognize the space, that the space belong to it as well. All right. So then, so date minus date of birth. Now let's see. We are still building this function. So it's going to be 7,439. I think that will be days. Okay, so it will say he's that, it's going to give him that days. He's alive for those many days. Then we can say, if we want to see the years, we can then divide this by 365. But to do that, then we need to put this, all of this function, both these function, date minus date of birth, we need to put them in brackets because we want to get that 7,000, that number 7,000 first, and then we want to divide that whole number by 365. Then it's going to give us 20.38 days. We were told that we need to format the function to display the age as a whole number. And we remember in Excel, to do that, we will say before the bracket, we will use the function round. So it's going to round, it's going to do this, it's going to count all of this, and then it's going to round it for us. Okay, so let's say, then let's take this and put it in a bracket, and then I think we are going to put this inside a bracket also. Okay, then yeah, then it rounds it for us to 20. So the person is 20 years of age. So to do that to look that over again, we say, before we hit the round, we say date. So remove this. Sorry, okay, no, we don't remove that one. We say bracket, date, you open and close brackets, minus date of birth, because this is a field. If we were saying date minus number of courses, we would say square brackets, number of courses. So date of birth, then we close the brackets, then divide by 365. But now, because we want to round it, we will say round and put everything inside brackets. Okay, then it's going to give us the number 20 for this one. Then it says display. Okay, we've displayed a suitable label for the calculated field already. Then queries, or rather, let me do this. Yes, we have a suitable label. There's the label. Do we need to write a new label? Now, let's see if I can remove this. Let me put a label. If I wanted to, I could put that label and call it age, but I'm just going to use the one that came with it. All right. So the organizers want to give the attendees internet. Oh no, I'm not there yet. Then we are to modify query 4.3.1. Display all attendees who are 18 years or younger. Sort the attendees according to the level of literacy in descending order. Okay, so we want people who are 18 years or younger, and so we are going to come out of this one. And 4.3.2, is it 4.3.2? 4.3.1. So we are on the queries now. 4.3.1, and we open it in design view. So we are told display all attendees who are 18 years or younger. So we go to date of birth, we go to the criteria. Okay, we want people who are 18 years or younger. So we go to the criteria and we say that between, so we are saying between today's date. So we figured now that today's date is going to be date, brackets, and then we are going to say hash because we want to take a date. Now we're working with a date. Hash 18 years is 2003, the first of the first month. Then we do a hash. Okay, and we are told to sort the attendees according to the level of literacy in descending order. So we have first name, last name, date of birth, number of courses, and we are told to sort them according to descending order. Okay, let me just show it first. Data sheet view. So there now it's going to show us these people accordingly. Only those who are 18 years or younger. All right. Then in descending order, we are going to say, it says we must level of literacy. So we are going to say field level of literacy. Let's look for level of literacy. There it is. And then sort. I think it was descending order. And now let's go and have a look. So level of literacy is there. Proficient, functional, basic, advanced. If we were told not to show or display level of literacy, we would just not show it. You see where it says show, we will just not show it, and it will still do the same thing, it just won't show that level of literacy. Okay, so I'm going to quickly pause the video because I have to now go home. Okay, so let me pause it here and I'll restart when I get home. All right, thank you. So thank you for waiting. I'm back. I'm now at home. So let's continue with our test. So we are now at 4.3.2. We've just done 4.3.1. The organizers want to give the attendees, the organizers want to give the attendees internet data. Only Vodacom vouchers are available. They decided to give money to other attendees. So modify 4.3.2 as follows. Show all users who do not use Vodacom. Okay, we only want users who do not use Vodacom. So let's open 4.3.2. We want people who do not use Vodacom. So there's last name, first name, data bundle, days of days, number of days to attend. So the data bundle, we want people who do not use Vodacom. Okay, so so what we want to do is that we want in data bundle, we want the field. Sorry, I've got a broken arm, and so now to itch myself. Let me just pause. I just want to scratch myself. I've got a broken arm, so to scratch myself is a bit of a challenge. Sorry about that. I just had to itch myself. So we are told that it must not be equal to Vodacom, so that we are going to use data bundle, because if you look at the query, it shows us that the data bundle, it shows Vodacom, Cell C, so we are dealing with this column there. So we are not going to sort it, but we want the criteria. So not equal to, if we were saying equal to Vodacom, we'll say equal sign, not equal to Vodacom, okay? If we say not equal to, less than, greater than Vodacom, and then we come and say datasheet view, you will see that it will give us everything but Vodacom, all right? Then it says that create a calculated field. So we need to now create a field. If we look at our current query, if we open it in datasheet view, we have these fields. We need to now create a new field called, we are going to create a calculated field, and we are going to call it data. It's going to calculate the money that each person will receive. Each person will be given an allowance of 30 rands per day. So each person who is not Vodacom will get 30 rands per day. So we are now creating a calculated field. So we are creating a field using some values that I'm going to show you. So to do that, we come to datasheet view. Sorry, not to design view. And in the field, because we are using a calculated field, or rather we are creating our own field, okay? If we were not creating our own field, we will just select from what exists on the table already. But we are creating our own field, and the field is going to be called data, okay? And then we are going to have a full colon, a full colon, and how to calculate now we are going to calculate how much data the person is going to use. So he is going to get data, and we are going to get that by saying number of days to attend. Okay, no, that's not right, because it just brings me the field name. Okay, so data, full colon, square bracket, number of days to attend. This is a field in our database, in our table. It's an existing field, okay? Hence, we put it in those square brackets. So we say number of days to attend, then we multiply the number of days that is going to attend by 30. So we take the number of days that the person is going to attend, and we make sure that we show it, okay? So we take the number of days that the person is going to attend, and we multiply it by 30. So 30 times 1 is 30, 30 times 2 is 60, 30 times 3 is 90, and so forth, okay? Then it says, calculate in datasheet view the total amount that will be spent on the attendees. In the datasheet view, so this is datasheet view, calculate how much will the total amount that will be spent, okay? So all you need to do is to make sure that you activate. You just click on this totals, I think it's the totals link or whatever it is, and it is going to show total there at the bottom. If you now come on the data, the column of the data, you will then select sum. Okay, then it will show you now the total amount that was spent on the attendee, on the attendees, I think. Yeah. So all you do is to just make sure that totals is selected, then you select the sum total of all the attendees. All right. And that is that. And then 4.4. Okay, I need to just rotate the page. Create a report called report 4.4 based on attendee information table. Okay, there's the table. Show only the following fields: last name, date of birth, gender, number of courses, level of literacy, and number of days to attend. Create a report based on attendee information table. This is not it. This is attendee information. So we are going to create a report, okay? And the report is going to be based on the attendee information table. Show only last name, date of birth, gender, number of courses, level of literacy, and number of days to attend. Okay, so we are going to, let me read everything. Group the records according to the gender, sort according to the level of literacy, display the report in landscape, insert a function in the group footer to calculate the number of female, add a descriptive label to the calculation, ensure that all data displays fully, and save and close the report 4.4. So we are going to name a report 4.4. So we are going to go to create. This is a form. We are going to create a report. Do we use a report wizard or report design? Let me say report wizard. Let's open. Okay, so let's choose. It tells us. Okay, let me do this. Cancel. Let me have them side by side. Just temporarily. So report wizard. So we want last name, date of birth, gender, number of courses, level of literacy, number of courses, level of literacy, number of courses, and number of days to attend. Okay, then group the records according to gender. So next, and you must make sure that it's based on attendee information. Okay, then next, do you want to add any grouping? Group the records according to gender. Then yes, there's the first grouping. Then sort according to the level of literacy. So we've done the grouping. So what sort order do we want to sort? It says it must be sorted according to level of literacy. You can sort the records up to 4 fields. So we want to level of literacy is the first one. Then sort according to level of literacy. Display the report in landscape format. So we are going to display it in landscape format. Insert a function in the group footer to calculate. Okay, then we are done with this. Okay, then we are going to report RPT for _4. Sorry about that. Then we preview. the design to maximize. Okay, now gender, level of literacy. Okay, so it will say gender, it will show us all the females. And then in gender, it's going to sort it by the level of literacy. Okay, that's okay. We can close that preview and we can come and say, insert a function in the group format footer to calculate the number of female and male attendees. Number of female and male attendees. Okay, that is what we are going to put at the footer. Okay, so now the report footer is here. So we just open there. And I think it is this one. So let's take we take a text box. And we are going to say, let me say, I'm just trying something here. Count. If I say count, let me say count F first. I just want to see something. I'm trying something. Count F. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Okay, now let me see. I just want to see the genders. Where does this have gender? Gender is M. Okay. Once it does this, you know that you've got an error in your thing. So let's see if I remove this square bracket, will it allow me? All right. So let me say count gender. Let me see if I say count gender. Okay, so females. So it shows that it shows both genders, okay? But we want, what did we want? Insert a function to calculate the number of female and male attendees. Okay, so it's 100. It's going to show us all the attendees. So I think that should be fine because it doesn't say separately. So it shows us all the attendees. So I can delete this one. And then add a descriptive label to the calculation. Okay, I shouldn't have deleted that. All right, so I'm going to put a label. Let me just say boys and girls. You can just write boys and girl numbers or something like that. Boys and girls. Okay. Then finally, ensure that all data displays fully. Okay. So if you now look at our form, the date of birth shows, the last name shows, the number of courses. You can see that if we are to show this number of courses to attend, it doesn't show the headings don't look very nice. Okay, so what we'll do, we are going to make this shorter. Level of literacy, we are going to make it shorter. Gender is fine. Level of literacy, because we made that one shorter, we're also going to make it shorter. Then you move class name. Okay, date of birth. guy is not going to have 60 characters on his name. So let's shrink him. So basically, you start just pulling it. So number of courses. Okay. Number of days to attend. Okay, so now let's see. I think everything should show properly now. Okay, yes. Level of literacy, last name, date of birth. We can now see that everything shows properly. If we wanted to, yeah, it shows fine. You know, we don't want to do more things now. So yes, then that is the end of that section out of 35 marks. And I do trust that then the video was clear and that you can practice at home. If there's any questions that you want me to attend to, please do let me know. All the best with your practice. Good night.